So let's get into it. You went to school for theater, performance, and English literature, right?
I did. Yes. It was that classic, what do you do with a BA in English question
Right,
after you graduate.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So knowing that, like, what made you want to start a voiceover career? Like, is there a certain event or experience that made you want to get into it or anything?
That's a good question. Well, it's a combination of things. I graduated and I had also worked a bit in theater education. And I had this sort of like dichotomy, these two things in my head where it was like, okay, in the arts, you can go to LA or New York and try to make it big, or you can become a theater teacher. Like, I feel like in my brain, those were like the only two options. And that's because I was 22 but it just seemed like, okay, well, you can do one or the other, but, and one is being successful and the other is giving up. But I mean, that was just my own, what I thought, which was incorrect. And I found that I really, really liked teaching. But I knew that I didn't want to teach full time because I knew that I didn't want to be a full-time teacher. So I was trying to find ways to be a teaching artist in Dallas. I'm based in Dallas. And we have a lot of great after-school programming and a lot of good like theater education programs here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so I started working with people and getting like good part-time situation where I could teach and work with kids after school. And I just think, well, theater is not a required subject or like a public school core subject, and it should be, but whatever. That's a whole nother podcast. But I wanted to find ways to have my own, like, first I was thinking, oh, this would be a nice side business or side hustle. And I do like to write and I do love to act. And I always wanted to be a cartoon character. I just thought when I found out that was a job, I was like, that's a sweet job. So you can, and then I think I saw some video of Robin Williams, like recording the genie, and you like see him behind the mic and he's just, everywhere and so excited. And it just seemed like a really great job. Then I think Netflix, the universe told Netflix to send me this movie. And I watched this movie called I Know That Voice. Yes. And it's about, have you seen it too, Alana? Yes. Alana or Alana? Alana. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So you've seen it too. And and it's all behind the scenes about voice actors and how great it is. And it's not famous. Well, I mean, there are famous voice actors, but it's not people who are film actors who then become voice actors. Yeah. So I was more interested in that. And then I took a course here in Dallas. There's a place called KD Studios, and I took a course with a teacher who has since passed on, Phyllis Cicero, who is beautiful, and she is right here with me. But she's amazing, and so she taught me the stuff I needed to. She taught me how to be behind a mic, which was awesome. And she's kind of from an old school version of voiceover, which is you go to an audition, you have an agent, you go to an audition, you get a booking, and then you go to the studio to record it. Right. So when I started doing voiceover, I quickly realized like that's not really how it works anymore. And I had to figure out, I was like, oh, I watched a gajillion YouTube videos on how to edit audio and not make it sound like crap. Yeah. And then I had to buy a mic and dampen, figure out how to like sound treat a closet and all of those things that, thank goodness for the internet, because I mean, I spent a lot of time figuring out how to make it all sound good. So, and a lot of time I didn't need to spend. So that's one of the reasons I've put together resources for other people, is because once I started doing voiceover and making money doing it, I was like, oh, this is like a really cool job. And I can do it from anywhere and I can work anything. So if I'm directing a youth show, then I just make my schedule there and then work my other stuff around it. If I want to go on vacation, I have a travel studio now that I'm taking with me next week so I can go to the beach. Like, anyway, like, it's just like, there's a lot of flexibility in it that I wanted that flexibility too, because someday I want some kids and I want to be able to like pick them up from school and stuff. Like I don't want to be, so I saw all the like really good pros of this kind of job, and I was just lucky enough and worked hard enough to kind of pull it into an actual job instead of a side hustle. So that's been a fun and interesting transition. And I've learned a lot of things along the way. And I feel like too, that this is something that there's not really a handbook for. And since I am a teacher by training and in my other professions as well, I was like, I want to put together resources for other people to be able to do this, because I know so many people who hate their day jobs or want to be in a more creative profession, but they're in somewhere that's not New York or LA and they don't know how to make that work. And anyway, and I feel like the thing with voiceover too is I feel this about all creative fields, but particularly in voiceover, only your voice is your voice. So you're really not in competition with anyone else, in my opinion. So my voice is my voice, and I'll be hired for the stuff that's for me. And then Alana, you'll be hired for the stuff that's for you. And if they need someone whose voice is like Alana, I can be like, I know her. Like, let me send you to, so like, that's, that's me. To me, that's a big part of what I've put together is I'm like, we're not in competition. There's never been more voiceover work online. I mean, it's everywhere. And it's so mine is in the corner too. She was snoring a minute ago. So, but yeah.
What type of dog you have?
Yeah, I have a little, she is a Shih Tzu mix. So she's got she looks like a little Ewok, really.
Oh, gotcha.
Her ears.
Well, she's well trained of not to interrupt your podcast.
Real quiet.
She's just sleeping, I think. It's her. She's just lazy is her deal.
Gotcha.
No, but you're absolutely right. I feel the same way as you when it comes to what you're going to book is for you. And it is so much work. It's so plentiful. I'm glad to be getting connected with you because like you said, now I know you to refer and you know me to refer. So
we can just be like,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that was a good Jim. You said that it's like, it's no competition. You're your own competition, really. Like we're all unique and we have our own voices.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. You're only, exactly. You're your own competition. Cool. So you got to there are tons of auditions out there. And if you don't book them, they weren't for you, but you definitely won't book them if you don't submit for them. So anyway, what is that quote? It's like, hold on, I'll probably misquote it, but it's, I think it's Denzel Washington. Opportunity is what happens when, no. Success is what happens when preparation and opportunity.
Yeah, me.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But you just